Let's talk about the first idea. Technology is a trade-off. So, technology gives and technology takes away. This means that for every advantage a new technology offers, there is always the corresponding disadvantage. The disadvantage may exceed in importance the advantage, or the advantage may well be worth the cost. Second, technology is used to remake both humans and society into what they are capable of being. Third one is in future as the technology will expand, gene editing will be commercialized and used in real life scenarios in agriculture, uh, medicine, and also to cure the disease. It will also be beneficial for some of the major diseases which are currently incurable and people have to deal with it. So this will set the scene for using the technology to improve upon nature and has implications in how we will use humans in the future. It, it states that how we humans will use this technology in future will be depending upon the nature and implications the human has. Let's talk about the second idea. The advantage and disadvantage of new technologies are never distributed evenly among the population. So, the first advantage is tackling and defeating diseases. So, we can tackle and defeat the diseases by gene editing. So, the using cancer therapy, we can modify the cells using CRISPR and can locate and kill cancer cells. Doing drug research, we can make up genetic makeup can potentially speed up the drug discovery process. Also inherent disease with genetic editing, the scientists can prevent the inherent disease from flowing to the offspring. Diabetes can also be eliminated. Second advantage is extended lifespan. So gene editing could extend the human lifespan. The human lifespan has already shot up by a number of years and we are already living longer and longer. Genetic editing could make our time on earth even long. So the third one is growth in food production and its quality. So nowadays there are many countries who demand heavy food but are not getting due to abundant supplies. So with the help of genetic editing, it could also be the answer to meet the heavy food demands that are still not met in many countries. We may also increase the medicinal value of our food and introduce edible vaccines. Next is pest resilient crops. So, with the help of this gene editing, we can instead of using tons of insecticides and pesticides, we can protect our plant in a healthier way by using gene editing. So the disadvantages are the first is the ethical dilemma. So so the ethical dilemma is the modification in genes is unnatural and it and amounts to playing with gods. what God has given us. Second is safety concern. So what all of the safety concern, let's first ignore what society or ethics has to say. So first of all, is it even safe to make changes at the cellular level? I guess the answer will be straight away no. Also there are many also by editing gene, sometimes it may happen the it may happen that sometimes the little life who is still in the womb could lead to complications including miscarriage, premature birth, which are unthinkable. Also, the next disadvantage is about the diversity. So, as we all know, diversity in all species of animals is key to evolution on Earth. So, by editing gene, the next generation won't be able to see the diversity we have seen. Is it a rich people's tool or for everyone? So, yeah, it's a rich people tools because gene therapy is costly. So, so the poor people we won't be able to afford it, but government will have to pay for the poor family.
So the third idea of Postman is the idea that embedded in every technology. There's a powerful idea, and sometimes two or three powerful ideas. And in order to understand by this, we have to look at this technology, the CRISPR-Cas9, and it's a technology that enables geneticists and medical researchers to edit parts of the genome by removing, adding, or altering sections of the DNA sequence. And this is a much shorter version. What it does, it actually modifies the embryo, and that will prevent a lot of the disease of like sickle cell disease, or even prevent cancer or mental illnesses from happening. And that is one of the most powerful ideas, that now we have the possibility to all these deadly diseases and all these will come in time and will affect our health, will gradually be just like your common cold. For example, if let's take the Black Death would come back nowadays, it would be no longer be an issue because nowadays we have penicillin. If you have a cold, just take some vitamin C, some cough syrup, and you can go through this disease. The same thing, what the research is trying to obtain is uh, have sickle cell disease. Now all you have to do is take a pill, or just a small surgery or something that will modify uh, the DNA sequence, and we have to just go to the doctor, take a pill, and that will be done. And that is the most powerful, taking all these deadly diseases, and now you're making them just like a regular flu, or like the polio vaccine. Polio used to be big thing about 100 years ago. That's when, at least that's when the research for the vaccine started. Eventually got vaccine, and polio was like, whatever, just take the vaccine and done. You will no longer suffer. And also takes it to the last part, what will be our new values that this technology will bring. So people no longer look, oh, you have cancer now. It's like, oh, you had cancer, oh, it's okay, just a disease, just a pill, and done. You can be safe now. This will bring us uh, into the fourth idea of Neil Postman, the idea that technological change is not additive, it is ecological. So basically, this will bring will change the way we perceive diseases, like this deadly disease. Say, well, Alzheimer's, people no longer people Alzheimer's, that they have problems. It'll be just oh, that person did not go to take a shot, they did not take the pill for Alzheimer's. And that is one way we look at be, oh, these people have these deadly diseases are not curable. Not necessarily disregard them as human beings, but they'll probably definitely look like more from a higher ground, kind of snobby way. And another issue we'll have that this technology can be exploited. And there are ethical issues, as in researchers just looking to solve just deadly disease. That's like the most important, like sickle cell cancer, mental illnesses, type 2 diabetes, and people could exploit this in the fact that they can try to change the height of people, or they can increase the intellectual capacities of a person. One of the main issues with this type of technology is also that it is the new DNA sequence is not inherited. So let's say when you were an embryo, you had your gene for diabetes. If you have diabetes going for families, genetic, it will fix just you. You will be the one that will no longer have diabetes, but you'll have your offsprings. They will have diabetes. That's for sure. So even your offsprings will need to have their DNA fixed, or at least that sequence in your DNA fixed. And and that is what the researchers are trying. So it's more altruistic, trying to help people. But increasing your height or increasing your intellect, these are things that people just they're always being exploited, some form of exploit for each technology, for every new thing. Now, our problem is with business people, and Neil Postman, well, he was referring to them as capitalists, but it's pretty much these business people who will try to bring a new culture, and they're the one who will dictate the new culture. Well, they can be the ones to say, why have you not done, or why have you not had this treatment by now? Everyone has it. And they'll try to create this divide in society, because that'll help them sell the product. So if they have means to cure a disease using this type of technology, they will try to take advantage of just so they can make more money. So basically, will try. They will be the one who will set the new cultural norms uh, for in regards to this type of technology. They always done that. And how can politicians take advantage of this? Well, we'll pretty much do the same thing that business people do. We'll try to create this huge divide between people who get treated and people who refuse treatment. So you kind of have the new radicals who want to change the culture and they want to get rid of these diseases, and then you have the traditionals say, well, we've been like this for eons and eons, we can go for another eon with this problem. It has never stopped us from evolving. And in a way, they're kind of true, but at the same time, have this new technology that will help you advance. You should take advantage of it.
The fifth idea by Neil Postman talks about technology tend to become mythic. We are living at a time where there are new technologies from various different fields being researched and invented every day all around the world. Most of them are improvements of what we have, while some of them are new technologies that replace what already exists, and some are brand new that we have not even heard of. Some of the new technologies will eventually become part of our daily lives, something that we think we cannot live without. What Postman means is that as time progresses, the history of the technology will be forgotten. For example, who invented this technology? When was it invented? Where was it invented? All of these will be forgotten, as it has become such a normal part of our lives. CRISPR is a new tool used to modify our DNA, used for gene editing. This technology was first developed as far back as the late 1900s, but CRISPR was invented in 2009. CRISPR has made it much easier to perform gene editing as it is much simpler, faster, cheaper, and more accurate compared to other tools. As the technology becomes more advanced and accessible to the general public, it will slowly replace other technology that have similar means. One of the main use of gene editing is to cure diseases that are life-threatening to the human population. It is hard to say if this technology will phase out traditional medicine, but depending on how advanced it becomes, it will create significant impact on our daily lives. As the advancement takes place, CRISPR will eventually become a norm in our society. If Postman's theory is correct, then people will soon forget about the history of this technology.